be. Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, which talks to our students and members of the community. I'm your host, fastcartfc. Today is February 22nd, 2024, at least in North and South America. And we're live today on Twitch and YouTube. How's everybody doing? I see Potten Face, I see me, obviously, and I see Dropped Yogurt. That's a great name. And Danger Harbor. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. Continuation of Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. We still got a week to go. I forgot to put a leap year, so we got an extra day of Black History Month. So yay us. I'm not joined by Coach, unfortunately, but I still have Jade helping me with the links. Hey Jade, how you doing?
Fast Cart. I look forward to your jokes tonight.
Yay! But as far as my week has been going, I ended my reading streak. I missed today. My reading streak ended at 85 days, almost 86, but 85 days. I accidentally forgot to use Kindle within a 24-hour period. By the time I remembered, it was 6 minutes after midnight. So I hopped on the app, hoping that it'd be measured in Pacific time, but nope. So yeah, I stopped at 85 days. Oh well. It's nice to not stress about it anymore. I wouldn't say I was stressed about it, but it's like one more thing I have to worry about, right? I finished Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Donald Glover television remake. I still like the series. Don't go in with expectations from the first movie and you'll be fine. It was a great series. I recommend it. I started with the final season of Bad Batch. I'm looking forward to more. I watched Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. I liked it. And it erased the bad taste left in my mouth by Crystal Skull. I don't know how everybody else feel about that. If you want to check out a great rom-com, check out The Lovebird, starring, let me see if I can get this straight, Issei Rae and Kumail Nanjiani. I was laughing my butt off in that movie. I love that movie. It was real funny. So let me see how people are doing in chat. Hey, Nomad. Hey, Pop. And MT Stunner. How's everybody doing? Okay, so let me do my thing. We can get into the show. So here we go. Okay, well, let me preface this by saying you may not recognize the first line, but the second line people will know. So hopefully people will get it. So here we go. I may be black, I may be poor, I may even be ugly, but I'm here. Until you do right by me, everything you think about is going to crumble. Anybody get that? Let's see if people can get that. You got two people in queue tonight, so let me drop them in. Looking for more people who want to come in and talk.
I know.
Hey, you're joined by Fitchface and Potten Face. How are you two doing?
07. How are you, buddy?
Doing fine.
I'm doing well. Okay, so people that didn't ring anybody died
Yeah.
memory? Oh, it did, Jade? Go ahead.
It's from The Color Purple.
There you go. The young person got it. Y'all old people should feel ashamed.
I mean, that's that's a classic movie. Like,
The Color Purple. Well, not just a classic movie. It had a remake in 2023, the musical. So that's what. So I'm trying to get movies within 20 years, and so that remake would my way in. Yep, The Color Purple, 1985 and 2023. And this has been FG's great moments in Black history. Okay, let's get this show started. We're gonna do our sneak peek. So we put that on the screen. Okay, so if you can see it, hopefully I got it in. Yes, I do have it in Discord. The subtitle was "Now What Do I Need?" So what do folks think?
Item bank. Oh.
Oh, I
Item
know what
bank.
this is.
What is it,
Lost
Jared?
items. Any of the stuff, your subscriber items, all that. That's how you get it. Maybe get it back.
What gave it away, Jared?
Item bank.
Item bank. Oh, that's what they said they were gonna call.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's either that or it's where you can store up your things. Like, but yeah, I don't know. But I think it's to recover lost things.
That's cool. Yeah, okay. It is much needed because a lot of us have stuff in our, subscription or what have you that we tend like to. We bought it so we want to use them, but then when we use them, we can't get them back. So I think this is great. You think there's gonna be a surcharge like one UEC or something?
I don't know. Like they've mentioned before, having insurance for items and components and things like that. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I'm pretty sure those subscription items don't have insurance on them, though.
Well, why wouldn't they?
They don't say 6 months insurance. They don't list insurance.
Yeah, but that's only for vehicles and stuff. They wouldn't, like, if they're adding something like that, they wouldn't necessarily have listed it, retroactively. They couldn't list it. But now that we're going to have this, maybe we do have item insurance. I don't know.
If you have a pen and you lose a pen, you're not going to get it back. You don't have insurance on it.
No, you're not going to get it back, but this is a game and people did buy, like stuff through subscriptions and they do want their stuff back. So I'm happy for them.
I mean, people who got those, are the Pico slippers available in game? No. They're just real life. They're just real life. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I was going to say, people who invested in those would love to have those because you never have to worry about your slippers stinking.
I never have to worry about my Star Kitten mug now, or my armor. The Star Kitten armor.
I have a Big Benny mug.
Yeah, I got that one too. Yep, all those mugs are cute. I love it.
All right, so let me get this bigger screen so people can look at this thing closer up. Let me zoom in real quick. Okay. Oh, there's the Microtech, but new Babbage. Okay.
The only thing that this made me think of, Fast Cart. I know this has it's not connected to it, but hangars. How maybe if we have some type of terminal in our hangar, for our personal inventory that's there. Maybe if we have cargo stored, stuff like that. But I know this has nothing to do with that.
Right.
This is that. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this is coming in 323, correct?
I would guess so. Typically, the stuff they've been showing lately comes in 323. If you look, obviously, it says Microtech on it, and it looks like they're a new Babbage. So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the sneak peek from last week's newsletter from Friday. Yeah. All right, moving on, we have Star Citizen Live Q&A with EVA and personal interactions. And I had this on, but I was working on Flight Rhythm at the time, so I went back and listened to Newifier's report. And so anyone else had a chance to look at this?
I did, but the less I say about it, the better.
Why is that?
I am not a fan of any of this. And then some of their
the EVA stuff?
Well, no. And some of their answers where they left a lot to be desired. Also, the whole idea of, now we don't, like when they were asked about your momentum, right? do you preserve your momentum? It's a basic space thing, right? If you're moving, you should continue moving in that direction. And I think the answer to that was convoluted. And then the other answer was about speed, and they said 10 meters a second was like fun. And the MMU on the space shuttle was 25 meters a second. Like, so I mean, that's relatively slow. If you ever watch them do the satellite retrieval with the MMU, they weren't going that fast. 10 meters a second in space is slow. And if we're going to be handicapped to limit it to that, I don't know. Plus, I don't like the whole flying through space like Superman. Everything about EVA now, in my opinion, is wrong. So that's why I said the less I say about it, the better.
Yeah, I resemble that remark when you said handicap.
No, I would never do that. Oh, no. No, see, I was looking forward to your jokes. No, you didn't.
One thing they did say was like you may be as fast as starting at 36 meters per second, but then they'll slow down to 10 meters per second.
Yeah,
so
why would some
momentum, but nowhere near as fast. But because they said if they let people go faster, it breaks stuff.
It doesn't break anything. You're going faster than that.
The engine or star engine.
No, it does. Why would it? You're no different than a dragonfly. A dragonfly goes faster than 10 meters a second. That, like I said, their answer did not pass the smell test for me. I'm sorry.
They did give a reason for people rather than I have to go back and get the exact quote. I don't know where it is.
You can be thrown out of a ship faster than 10 meters a second. Like,
yeah. So how about Pop and Fist?
I'm happy about it. I mean, it's new, it's evolution, and they'll get it right. They'll fix it. There's plenty of time to work on it.
Same,
All right. And remember, if you want to drop in and have a chat with us, click on the link below and hop in. We don't bite, or maybe Fist does, but not too hard. He nibbles on you rather than bite, but yeah, he's fine. Anyway, so that was Star Citizen Live.
Okay. Okay, if we go in there, all right, don't start. Don't start now. I will embarrass you. Don't do it.
Oh my goodness. Where's Kel Roddy when you need him?
Don't do it.
Anyway, so yeah, that is the Star Citizen Live from last week. Well, let me talk about some stuff. They did list it that can we disable the Pi overlay if we want to, and it said not for 3.3, that's coming in the future. EVA will probably be refueling eventually, not in 3.23, and they talk about maybe using a pen, a refueling pen for that. You can play boxes in EVA. Mag boots are not part of 3.23, but they want to work on that and put it in the future release. And animations are drawing in 3.23, and they hope to polish them later. Well, yeah. Those are some points that notes that I made for myself for the show. But yeah, check it out. Star Citizen Live. And also, if you want a quick recap, there's New Fire. Pi Kuna in 4 minutes and 11 seconds. So yeah, check that out too if you want something TLDR. Here we go. Here's some news that a lot of us were looking forward to. This came out yesterday, so it was 240 days even. Exactly 8 months until CitizenCon. So yes, CitizenCon, October 19th to October 20th. CitizenCon 2954 returned to Manchester, because the people remember the last CitizenCon in Manchester was 2019. So that was the one before, the last one before COVID. So they're going back to Manchester. Normally they go back and forth between Frankfurt and Manchester, but this time they're going to Manchester again. We can speculate on that. Why do people think that they're going back to Manchester? Let me ask.
It's new and shiny.
Wait, what's the
Oh,
question?
you talking about The Office?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's part
what's the
of it,
question, though?
probably.
I mean, it's the home office. It is I'm gonna take a step, and it's the outcome. It's the coming home party for Squadron 42. So why not? It makes sense to me, as far as that's concerned. I mean, they can have it wherever they want it, but why not do it at the home office?
Yeah, I was hoping that they would do it in LA because that's where a lot of the stars live and stuff like that. But
You go
people
back
also
to LA
live
again?
in the UK, so
Back to back.
they're gonna do either or, and say it's gonna be a big one. So yes, a lot of people are predicting
Yeah.
2042.
But wait, go back to LA again? We just went to LA though.
I know, but we didn't have we had the 2042 trailer, but the teaser thing, but we didn't have any of the stars, come out like Gillian Anderson, Gary Oldman, people like that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Maybe they just, like you said. I mean, I know me with us, we were hoping that somebody would have shown up,
Right.
being that it's LA. But I mean, for them to go, I guess what I'm trying to say as far as the point of fact, for them to go back to LA, I guess for me, I wouldn't see that. But one thing though, I'm hopeful for is that when Tyler put up there on the poll for CitizenCon to be there this year, when we already knew it was going to be Manchester, he put Montreal. So there's a possibility. There's a possibility that next year Montreal could be in the works.
Okay. All right. So next year it's supposed to be Austin because that's what they alternate too. But they're doing Manchester twice, so they may do LA twice, so they may do Montreal in the mix. So you never know. It goes all crazy, folks. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. So yeah, 2954 returns to Manchester Central, October 19th, 2024. How do you top our biggest and best CitizenCon to date? You have to come to Manchester this October to find out. So yeah, should be cool.
Are you
we have
going?
a couple of posts. What? Go ahead.
Are you going?
No, I'm not going. I may go to VerseCon if it's in Austin or Texas this year. Probably go someplace local. How about you three?
No.
No, we were supposed to meet Citizen Her and a couple other people over there, but and well, the main reason, we talked about it. You're not going, so
Oh, you're saying if I were to go, you would go?
we
We thought
would put
about
our
it.
best foot forward. Let me
We'd
say
have thought
that.
about it.
That's not fair.
We'd have thought about it.
Okay.
I mean, we
Not
had
bad.
great times
Put it on
in
me.
LA, right?
No, we're
That's a
not
building,
putting it-
right?
We're not.
What's that over there?
We're not putting
Is
it
that
on
a
you.
building? Or is that a building? Oh, okay.
Oh.
How about you, Jade?
No, sorry.
No.
No, I will watch this one. Well, I shouldn't say no. It's so long from now. I really thought I was going to be in LA last year when it was announced, and then I ended up being on the other side of the world. So if that happens again this year, then maybe I will be. But
You do have 239 days until you really have to, decide. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, but the tickets will be sold out probably.
Oh,
But,
no.
yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of tickets, let me get this thing up. Okay. Well. Okay. Before we get to the ticket part, they did a tweet, and Jake Bradley or Jake Acapella said, "See, we didn't overlap with TwitchCon this year. TwitchCon is in September this year." So evidently people were worried that they would overlap with TwitchCon again, but they didn't. No, I thought that was cute.
At least they gave the dates, because at least they gave the dates so folks can book their flights as well as
At least they gave
their hotels.
2 days again. They let people know it was 2 days way ahead
Right.
of time this time.
That's very important. I mean, this is an expensive trip for those that are coming from the States and other countries.
Yep. Oh well, I thought I had this thing, but I thought I had a thing, but evidently I moved it or don't have it up here. Okay. Well, I thought someone said that they'll be following up with the CitizenCon tickets and info later in the year, but because this is February Okay, they announced it back in December for 2954 or 2023. No, I'm sorry, 2953. Sorry. So they announced it back in December, but typically announce it in March, April, May. May is kind of late, and February is really early. So this is kind of expected, but folks are happy that they nailed it down. So yeah, but they'll get back to the date and the prices and everything like that later on. It might be another $199, $299. Well, this will be in euros this time, but so you never know. But yeah. All right. So up next we have this week on Star Citizen. Wednesday they had a roadmap. Cover that in a moment. Thursday we had an Inside Star Citizen. Cover that in a moment. And Friday, Star Citizen Live will be a 2-for-1. In the first half, they'll sit down with developers creating the upcoming distribution center as they answer our questions live, and the second half will meet the dev with Stefan, principal technical artist. You can submit your questions here. I forgot to put that link in chat, so let me get it right here. So let me right click and copy. Copy the link. And then ask a question there. If you see a question that's closely related to yours, make sure you upvote it so they can get to it. But yeah, the French speaking community is abroad this weekend. It's 4 teams intrepid explorers to participate in treasure hunt event to unravel the mysteries of the destination Cache, hidden destination. That'll be Saturday, February 24th, 2100 Paris time. Last but not least, don't forget that the Quest Cup from Angia Racing is in 1 month. So don't forget to sign up for March 16th, 1300 UTC. So you want to race and you want to get into the Quest Cup, then now's the time to sign up. And then they have the schedules and more TLDR, the schedule basically. Oh yeah, and also keep your eyes peeled. The frigate is coming. We'll talk about that in a moment too. But let me get to the MVP. The MVP this week rather, is the homemade embroidered Big Benny's belt app from Freeman's girlfriend. The founder of Big Benny's, Benicio Lewis Jr., has made to see this wonderful creation from Freeman's girlfriend, a potato stock stamp Big Benny's with the wonders of Cornwall. It's a great job, and congratulations on getting MVP this week. So yeah, that is Freeman's girlfriend, Big Benny's potato sack. I low-key kind of want one, but I don't really have a use for one. I'm not really a potatoes guy. I think it's really cute.
I mean, it's cute. It's definitely, yeah.
Put in a lot of effort. I mean,
that's
wow.
Yeah, so yummy. So wow.
Yeah.
Buster, thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Raiders from Buster the Destroyer's channel. I'll give a shout out to Buster in a moment. But right now, we're covering this week in Star Citizen and the MVP from this week. So, yes, there's Freeman, the Big Benny's potato sack. And he's going to come in and talk with us. We have a few people there. Welcome more. Click the link below and come in and tell us what your thoughts about this week in Star Citizen. So let me give a shout out to Buster real quick.
Just don't be a sack of potatoes.
All right. So who needs the joke ban now?
I told you. That's number one. I'm gonna embarrass you tonight. I'm getting
potatoes
started.
Is good eating. Yes, they are. Yes, indeed, Buster. They are good eating. So yeah. That is the MVP from this week. And Freeman's girl.
Nice. What is that in the back? What is that? What is that? Coffee? That was in the back with the beans.
Donuts? Mini donuts?
Donuts.
Mini donuts.
It looks like dates to me.
I think they're chocolate covered something.
Are those Raisinets?
That's what they look like.
They're too big.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the size of these. I don't know.
Parallax. It's further back.
Anyway, so up next we have, this came up from the tweet on the official RSI Twitter account, or X account, said tomorrow, and they showed a picture of the Idris, and people were up in arms, excited. What would you say, Jade?
I would say confused more than anything.
That's fair.
because-
That's fair.
Yeah, because looking at Reddit, looking at Twitter, the comments, and then also on Spectrum, you know, first there were people that got overhyped, and then you saw, I don't know if, you don't have the link to Xylo's post, but he kind of brought the hype down and like, no, you're not getting the interest.
Okay. I have it. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
So, the next link is from Spectrum. This is from Rodrigo. The hype is real, very real. Tomorrow, you got spelled out Idris, and you give the Twitter link. And then Zyla posted, to help manage expectations, we won't be releasing the player on Idris tomorrow, but it's still going to be an explosive event.
And that's what I think confused some people too, because like, if you hadn't been testing stuff in the EPTU or, you know, been part of the Idris boarding thing, then you would have no idea what they're talking about here.
So, tell us about that, please.
Oh, okay. So, CIG devs were flying around in Idris, and the goal was for us to take it over, which meant don't soft F it, don't shoot it, don't twerp it, disable it, and then board it, and then kill the CIG devs, and then fly it. And
that's a lot of end.
Yeah, it is. It was so fun.
How long did this whole thing take? Sure.
So the first time I did it, I think we did it in under an hour.
But
that was and then the second time, it took longer because there were a lot of people that didn't really know what was going on. But it's a fun event. I mean, I really hope, you know, people get a chance. I hope everybody gets a chance to see the inside of the Idris, because it's complete inside. Like everything's in there.
It's done.
Yeah.
Cool. And I think we have one more link. Right. So then we got this today. Yeah, today. It came out today. So so let me go back real quick. The first one said tomorrow, and then we got this today. And it says the Idris M has encountered an anomaly with a quantum drive and sending it on an unexpected detour. Estimated arrival now is Friday, 1300 UTC. Keep a close eye on your mobiGlas for more detail. And, you know, I'm going to scroll down real quick because someone made a funny comment. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can follow. So here we go. So this is from, I'm not going to see it, Bid of One. So tomorrow is what you meant. Instead of just tomorrow. So, okay. Yeah, confusing, exactly. Oh yeah, keep an eye on mobiGlas or Spectrum and Comlink, because it's a dynamic event, or global event as they call it now. Jade?
Yes.
It's a dynamic event, right? Or global event?
Well, I don't know what they're calling this, but I know that the Xenothreat event, I think it's called Overload. Yeah, that's a dynamic event. And I don't know if this is part of that or not, but you know, I would say it's dynamic because I mean it's something that isn't going to always be around. So I say it's a dynamic event.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the Idris M. So check that out starting tomorrow, 1300 UTC. Probably we'll get more details on tomorrow. I don't want to speculate too much on it because the details are coming. You're just gonna wait for it.
Yeah.
All right. So up next we have the roadmap roundup from yesterday. Every 2 weeks they do the roadmap roundup update, and this week the notable changes for February 21st, 2024. Is freight elevators an update? As work progressed on the freight elevators, the team recognized that additional feature work is required to implement summoning vehicles via your hangars. As a result, specific mechanics will likely come at a later date. Freight elevators and the related functionalities are still on track for 323. And, you know, we discussed this when when you first heard about it, a lot of stuff that, well, not a lot, but some of the stuff that they have on the tracker and whatnot may be delayed or put off a little bit because they're doing a lot. So don't be too surprised. I'm not too surprised about this. So how do people feel about the freight elevator being slightly needing more work?
It's not the elevator. Well, it's spawning getting the vehicles from the elevators.
Okay.
So the elevators are going to be in, but being able to retrieve your vehicles, like a dragonfly or any buggy, things like that. That's what I think they're talking about is put off. So it's a small part of a bigger feature that's still going to make it in.
Yeah. All right, and then the following cards, I sound like a Bostonian, cards have been added to the release view, targeting Alpha 323 release window. Arena Commander custom lobbies. I'm not going to go into details. Arena Commander Grav Royale, sorry. That's the high-speed mayhem game mode. Arena Commander Engineering experimental mode. We talked about that before. Arena Commander new flight map, Miner's Lament. I'm not familiar with that one. So Miner's Lament, the previously exclusive race and part of the Master Mode test, now open to treacherous, accurate rating, expands to all flight mode. Dogfight in the chaotic beauty of Yellow Ring for an intense, dangerous, and close quarters showdown. People think about those.
More maps is always good. Okay.
Master mode you'll probably I was just gonna say master mode you'll probably talk about when we watch Inside Star Citizen, right? So
yeah,
put a pin in that one.
Okay, Jared.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Grav Royale. I always thought they should have some type of Gravlev like death match kind of thing, and that's what this looks like it might be. So.
Surprise! Yeah, that Gravlev is your thing.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it really is.
We are joined by Northern Trooper. Hey, Northern, how you doing?
Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
hello. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Any thoughts about the roadmap?
I have thoughts.
And what are they?
I am perturbed that we have not gained deliverable updates. I've talked to the CIG guys about this, but I'm afraid that we're going to go an entire quarter without any actual roadmap or progress tracker updates outside of the card release view. I'm the type of person that pays attention to that stuff, so when it's my info is missing, I panic.
Okay.
Yeah, but they said it's it's still being planned out. So
yeah, they did say that.
All the Squadron 42 devs coming over is kind of throwing a monkey in the gear set, which is fine. I'm excited to see what the new one or the reflection is going to show, but I'm impatient at the same time.
In fact, I'm gonna go to the Spectrum post. The Spectrum post is just a rehash, of the Comlink post. But down below, scroll down, there's a reply from Zach Acapella. They responded to J3PT. They said they just reintegrated a significant number of people from 2042 team, and as a result, changed a lot of their team structures and hierarchies. They can make some time to finalize their planning, and a month is not a long time to do all that. And Jake replied, "This is accurate, especially considering the team changes. You've already heard some of the changes on ISC, Team Cyan instead of active feature team, which means a tons of work to show you this year's planning accurately. There's quite a bit of planning and shifting still ongoing, but ultimately it's positioning us for our biggest and best year yet." So that's what you're talking about, North End? Yep. All right. Yeah. Did you? I think that's the only reply. Yeah, that's the only reply from Jake Acapella on the roadmap and Spectrum. But yeah, so that is the roadmap roundup. And yeah, they're still working on it, so that's why it's not on the. Well, they got cards and stuff like that, but they're still figuring stuff out. So give them time, folks. All right, up next we have, oh yes, the RSI Launcher is getting a makeover soon. Take an early peek at this work in progress screenshot that we snuck out for you. So yeah, that actually has two screenshots. That is the first one that you see right there. And then we have the second one, slightly different. You know,
Will there
getting
finally
to
be an uninstall button?
uninstall. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you can just delete it, right?
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I get
uninstalling.
you.
No,
But
but
the
the
other,
RSI, people have been asking for the RSI status on the launcher for a long time, so that's a great addition.
I think
Any
I can
thoughts?
say that yeah. Oh, everyone else can go first.
I was gonna ask, do other game studios? I know like CIG is trying to build their own launcher, and this is kind of it's starting to mimic more of like your Guild Wars 2, Baldur's Gate from Larian Studios, where they're gonna have your multiple game sets already on the launcher, ready to launch. So you can see them trying to update to mimic that flow when it comes to when you open the launcher. You're not going to open the launcher to one game. You're going to open the launcher for multiple games.
Yeah, no, Squadron for the Student Star Citizen, obviously, and the test servers and stuff.
So you mean like like another Epic and Steam launcher?
Or BlizzNet, BlizzardNet.
BlizzNet, yeah.
Yeah, if you look in the upper right corner, there's a thing that says games. And there's right now only Star Citizen. But when Squadron comes out, I would expect that to be populated by both of them. So you'd have, you could select Star Citizen or Squadron. Otherwise, why even put that, UI element there?
Or the
Yeah, you know
downloads.
what? That is good catch. I thought that was just a Star Citizen symbol. I need to notice the game label.
It would be redundant because they have Star Citizen right in the middle of the launcher, along with the Star Citizen symbol.
I'm not a UI programmer. I'm not good at these things.
So,
Yeah.
so I've been testing this. I guess I can say that Eva Cotti's been testing this launcher, and since it's good. It's really good. One of the things I like about it is that now when you download a patch, the patch notes are right there. Also, it takes you to the guide system, community hub, all of that's right there in the launcher. For a new player, having that guide system right there in the launcher, that's right there in their face. If they're having trouble, they can get a guide. Also, the content creators that post stuff on the community hub, a lot of times it felt like the community hub was buried on the website, and now being in the launcher, that's great for all the people that submit stuff to community hub. So overall, I'm really happy with it. It's so much cleaner, and you can resize it somewhat.
Okay,
Yeah.
resizable. That's nice.
Yeah.
So do you think we will have like more easier access when dynamic events come in, or your seasonal events come in, like a Lunamaria or any other ones where the community says, check this out, this is happening, versus actually going to the site to see it?
Yeah, I think this launcher is set up to push content that normally you'd have to go to the site to see into the launcher. So you're going to, I'm speculating here, but I think you're going to see a greater use of that, where, new things are going to be right there in a way that the current launcher, you don't really have that visibility.
So would you say this launcher more 2024 as opposed to 2012?
Yes, a lot.
Cool. But yeah, I'll look forward to the new launcher, folks. Alright, so up next we have... Okay, so this is a post from Yogi Cloud. The thread is from 322.1 EPTU aim assist. Okay, I'll go ahead and read it. You don't really have to go to the original post, but Yogi Cloud explains about aim assist. Said, hey, just to explain a few things, aim assist is done per gun and is calculated based on the angular differences between the barrel and the optimal aim point for each gun. The assist values are composed of min angle, max angle, and max possible nudge angle. A couple of releases we had 0.7 for the min angle, 3 for the max angle, and 3 for the max possible nudge angle. And they said that this is quite strong. The criticism of players, predominantly flying light fighters, was that there was no evading gameplay for them. So a little bit later, they tried this out with a 0.7 min angle, 1.5 max angle, and 1.5 max possible nudge angle. For this, they overstood quite a bit. Light fighter pilots had their evasion back, but it made them almost invulnerable to the turret, and specifically less experienced players. Currently, they set it to 0 min angle, 3 max angle, and 3 max possible nudge angle. This is still less than what we had originally, but a lot more than the previous build. The reason for those is it has to do more with the 322.1 popping soon, and they did not want to find themselves in a situation where the maximum, I guess that's the maximum possible. So Master Mode, Arena Commander mode, Master Mode, Arena Commander mode, are only enjoyable for the upper end of PvP players, thus reducing the amount of players playing it. So the upcoming iteration will be 0 min angle, 3 max angle, and 2.25 max possible nudge angle. Slightly reducing the side strafe acceleration, but increasing the down strafe of light fighters, decreasing the G threshold, faster exhaustion, and down strafing. And then they will see where we land. Just to make clear what the goal is here, in the past, light fighters were extremely dominant in matchup. That is supposed to change, as we do not want to make any ship archetype in a dominant force, but rather find themselves in a situation where every ship class has its place. Light fighters still need to rely on agility, etc., but they cannot be as invulnerable to turret and other ships as they have been in the past. But frankly, they haven't hit that yet, and they do believe that amount of assist plays a big role here. So we'll go through more iterations, just need to wait for a good point in time. TLDR, yes, we will go through more variations, probably not before 322.1 has hit, though. Oh yeah, any thoughts? That was a lot to read, but yeah, I hope I explained it well, or read it well.
I'll be short. I mean, I'm not a combat person, but I assume that with all this being done, the work going into it, it will make things hopefully, I'm not going to say it's going to be completely balanced, but, fun for both ends of the spectrum, put it that way.
No pun intended. Spectrum.
Yeah.
We're looking at spectrum here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I explained it. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to turrets actually being more effective against light fighters, and I love Yogi because he puts a lot into his responses. Anytime he replies on Spectrum, he puts a lot into it, and I like this detail and more than just the detail, but like him explaining why they're doing things. And I think that's what a lot of the community wants to know is if they're going to make a change, why are they doing it, right? And I think he did a good job explaining.
I agree.
He's very passionate, and I got the honor to talk to him and hang out with him at CitizenCon for a bit, and even talking to him in person, you can still see that the drive.
Oh yeah.
Even still working on her song, it's like, all right, you need somebody to be your flag bearer. That's the guy.
Yeah, he's a good, cool girl. We got a chance to talk to him too. Yeah, it was really cool. I agree.
Oh, so that is. Oh, go ahead.
Are we? I came in late. Apologize, y'all. Did you guys go through over ISC yet?
Nope.
No, that's coming up.
Okay, I will keep my mouth shut.
Okay, but up next we have a recent update. This came out. What time this came out, Jade?
Oh, like what? 10 minutes before the show? No, I think
10
like a
minutes before the show?
half hour before the show. Of course.
Okay. Oh, this is live. So,
This is live,
just hit
yeah.
live. Oh,
It just-
okay. I didn't get a
just hit
chance to look
live.
at it.
Yep.
All right. So, yes, 322.1 is out. Here, live. So, yes. Long-term persistence was enabled. Character the new environment will be built from long-term persistence data, so items such as med pens, ammo, rentals, and refinery will be lost. So, okay, so there is some stuff, some data lost, but not everything. There are plenty of known issues, as you can see. I'm not going to go through them. It look like there's more than what we had before, but yeah. Feature update, grav-led balance update. Updated acceleration restrictions for grab-led players and height changes. Full balance pass for performance changes for all grab-led vehicles. Does this mean that the knocks no longer is, or not the knock, the X1 is no longer like 500 meters per second or 200 meters per second now? When it gets close to the ground, or is that still the case? Or no one knows.
I don't think that that's the issue. Like, but I'll have to go back in and check in live because I didn't get a chance because the show was starting. But
Right.
at least in the EPTU, it seemed like the speeds were the same. So
Okay. Distortion temporary changes. Distortion damage has been effectively removed from all items except for power plants and dashboard. This is a temporary measure until they rework how distortion damage penetrates vehicles' hull. Shields now have a 75 to 95% resistance against distortion weapons based on the power triangle assignment. Updated mining description and HUD reference inert materials levels instead of filtering, and added a mild push impulse force on catastrophic shatter of mineable with a smaller force on FPS variant. Any thoughts about anything I read so far? No?
My tinfoil hat is the lightning forced them to make some changes on the distortion. Because the meta that everybody was rocking, it was just melting shields away and disabling them.
Good point. Bug fixes fix a issue that caused an issue purchase and ships to be lost from long-term persistence after a patch. This long-term bug fix will take effect going into the future update, but not going into 322.1. This issue sometimes causing ships that were insurance claims to become unsafe from long-term persistence unless the ship was an ASAP spawn and then restored into a location. Oh yeah, so that was the workaround they had a little bit. They fixed a whole bunch of other bug fixes like the UGF elevator, the MakeoverHistorian Runner AI, and HRT bounding mission to no longer spawn as civilian, and so on and so forth. So there's quite a few bug fixes. Technical, they fixed 5 client crashes, fixed 4 server crashes, and fixed a server deadlock. And then you continue on with the new features, grav race, master mode, whole bunch of other stuff, no post, mode update, gun rush, system imbalances, that's a whole lot of stuff, not gonna go through those, and that's about it. So yeah, that just came out 10 minutes before the show, so thanks CIG, thank you. I'm gonna have to download that after the show. I'm not gonna do it during the show because that'll mess up the stream, so yeah. Alright, so yeah, 322.1 is live, so go check it out, folks, after the show, don't do it now.
Is this the first time they pushed live on a Thursday night?
No, not the first
No.
time.
No.
They've pushed things out even on like a Sunday.
Yeah.
It really
Oh.
doesn't matter. If they want
Okay.
something out, they'll get it out.
I just remember for a while it's always been like live patches pushed out on a Friday. It's like, all right, good luck, y'all. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, right. Alright, so up next we have our ISC. So Internet Search Citizen, Masters and Blasters. Really, CIG Masters? It's Black History Month. Seriously? Alright, let's get started. This is 15 minutes and 21 seconds. We're going to split this into 6 minutes and 9 minutes. So we go 6 minutes and come back. So here we go.
While Star Citizen aims to offer a first-person universe of possibilities, at the center of it has always been you and your spaceship. And over the years of development, testing, feedback, and iteration, there have been many changes to the combat and traversal experience. And in the upcoming Alpha 323, the biggest and most anticipated of those makes their presence known with the arrival of Master Modes. And with that comes additional changes to precision targeting, weapon balance, gimbal use, and more.
What are Master Modes?
So Master Modes is a way for us to really kind of capitalize on what the ships are.
Basically, Master Modes are a new game feature that change all the combat experience inside the game.
So you'll have a mode for fighting in and a mode for flying from place to place in.
A rework of the flight and combat system to essentially try and solve a lot of the problems that players have had with the flight experience.
You can decide if you want to be in full combat mode, or you're just in transit, or you want to get out of a situation as quick as possible.
Master Mode is the thing that makes ship combat exciting and making sure that the ships that you have in the game perform in the roles that we have envisioned for them.
Since CitizenCon, we've been bringing Master Modes into Arena Commander.
Progress has been quite good, showing off the new modes and letting people get their hands on it.
Collecting the feedback, seeing how players respond to that online, by monitoring how players react on social channels. We've been testing internally a lot.
It's a very limited selection of ships, but even so, people seem to like it. So we've taken that feedback and carried on making progress and adapting it all to the rest of the ships as well.
We've been watching how players play the game, monitoring analytics, putting it all together and sharing it with the devs who need to see it.
How the hell do you go about converting 200 ships to vehicles?
Unfortunately, there's only really one way to do it, and that's to not get too intimidated by the number. A team effort. We're just cracking through it, really.
The difficult part, of course, especially as a designer, is try to understand the new game dynamics that the game system creates, especially in an environment like the PU, and then try to being able to deliver the proper game experience for every ship with a different tuning. And that's quite difficult, but that's also what is really interesting about bringing up a new feature.
So we're moving each individual ship into an archetype, and we're going to rebalance that ship to the archetype as a starting point. And then basically, once that's complete, we're going to add the individuality into each ship.
Each ship has been given a full refresh, and we've looked at every ship in the game, assigned them a base archetype so that you know what you're getting into from the get-go.
All ships, based on how big they are and what kind of purpose they serve, will get an archetype assigned to them. A typical archetype is a snub fighter. Very, very small, very agile, but it cannot dish out a lot of damage, and it can also not receive a lot of damage before it pops. Light fighter. Very maneuverable, decent weapon loadout, and it's basically there for agility engagements. Medium fighter. Pretty agile for its size, but it has a lot more offensive firepower.
Target destroyed.
Heavy fighter. They don't maneuver well, but when you happen to be at the front of them, you can die very, very fast. Now, these are basic tuning archetypes that we have for our fighter ships class, and all ships in that size will be assigned to one of these things. However, based on the ship and what the purpose of the ship is, we have variations of that. For example, we have the interceptor variant of these tunings. This is a tuning variation that can apply to any of these archetypes. An interceptor tuning for a ship means that this ship exchanges the agility. With agility, we mean the rotation rate and the lateral strafing accelerations simply for speed. So they will not be able to turn their velocity vector much. They will not be able to rotate much, but they will be very, very fast just going forward. Racing ships are like the base archetype that almost all racers ended up with so far are interceptors, because racers prefer speed over everything else. But you want to pick the right racer for the right track. The other end of the range are our, let's call them fighter bomber tunings. That means we trade agility for simply durability. On top of the fighters, we just keep going with this. We have gunboats for ships that are constellation-sized. We have corvettes for something like a hammerhead, right? So our hammerhead is, for us, is our anti-fighter corvette. Frigates are basically the biggest ship that players can control in the universe right now. So we're talking Idris, we're talking 890 jumps. I know that players cannot control the Idris, but we're talking ships like the Carrack. Those are frigates, really, really big ones, but also they will have variations in their tuning based on the brand or what the purpose of the ship is. So these are very big changes that are coming, but the main takeaway is that these archetypes are just reference frames for the type of tuning you want to give a ship. It does not mean that every ship that you have in the verse will fit a specific archetype. There are ships which are in between. For example, the Saber. Is it a medium or a light fighter? It's somewhere in between. The Cutlass has not the durability of a heavy fighter, has, however, the turret of a heavy fighter, so it's somewhere in between. So there are ships which do not fit exactly into these frames. But this is the beauty of it, because these ships, we can make them fit anywhere where they want. We just need to make sure that the balance between them is right. Not everything fits in a box, and it would be very boring if it did.
And we are back. And yes, thank you for the raid, Yo-Yo Mag. Welcome, Raiders. How's everybody doing? Come in and chat with us. We're going to talk about what's going on in Star Citizen this week. Obviously, right now, we're covering this week's ISC and talking about the first half. So, yeah, the first half. What do people think?
Okay, I'll be go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
Okay, all right. So, very cool. Stuff. Yeah, welcome, yo-yos. So for me, I'm kind of looking at something in a different direction here. If I'm not mistaken, from what I'm hearing from the video, are they implementing the audio features that we saw or heard from CitizenCon? Because it sounds like as if when you're in the cockpit, you get more of a filtered sound versus from how the way I guess it is in the game. I haven't been in the game now lately, so I don't know if it's there.
I don't know, Jared. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell from the headphones I have on now. But yeah, I mean, I would expect that that's going to make its way in, if not 323, a future patch not long after.
Okay.
I probably attach that to the whole armor, the audio. If they were to add that, I would assume there would have been some sort of maybe a release card or a mention of it by now.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah. I think Pops, you wanted to go.
I don't know though. I was just going to say I don't know if they would add a card for that. It's such a minor feature. I don't know that it would get its own card, but
it would go into patch notes when it comes out. But I don't know if it would want a card specifically. But yeah. And anyone else had thoughts?
I was just gonna say I think this is a good step. I know most of experienced people kind of understand where the ships kind of fall, but I think the further definition to where they fit is good, because it helps to some of those people that all of us have spoken to. I'm going to take my arrow and I'm going to blow up a hammerhead with it. This kind of dispels that. So especially when new people, hopefully when they come in, they'll look at what type of ship they're buying, whatever in their budget. They won't come in and then they won't be disappointed. Well, I can't, blow up an Idris, again with my arrow. It's not made to do that. So this defines more of what the ships are made from, and then there's those that fall into the in between categories, the specialty categories, and things like that. So it will give a lot of those people a better feel that just coming into it, especially when Squadron 42 hits, and it probably be a large influx of people. So I think this is definitely a good move in the right direction, especially for new people.
All right, thank you for that. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. Northern, you had any thoughts, or did we already cover you?
I do. I'm checking something real quick just to make sure I'm not talking out of mine. So a couple things. Somebody confirm it with me. April confirmed that all 200 ships are done. 200 plus ships are done. That's crazy. So it's that's crazy to know that. A couple things that if they have most of the ships, if not all the ships done now, why aren't there more ships in master modes? I get it, they're only doing a couple for each category. But I would assume they probably want more variety on that. Speaking of the different types and how Yogi explained it, that every ship has its the mesh of highs and lows. And I went to go check just to make sure I'm not losing my mind here. But I'm not seeing I feel like every combat ship should have some form of a web graph, or like they're doing with marketing, where they show offense, defense, endurance, and agility, and then paste where those ships would land on those graphs. For like new players, they would understand quickly looking at a graph going, here's where Hurricane lands, or here's an arrow where it lands. So when they go against it,
that's all like a project for a potential MVP to get to that. make a graph like that.
Well, doesn't whatchamacallit do that in a way? If you ever watch his stream, Subliminal.
Oh, Subliminal does that? Okay.
Does he have a graphic on that?
Yeah, he does it live. Like sometimes, he'll I've seen him do it where he goes tier A or tier S, tier A, tier B, tier C.
Oh, but not specifically about archetypes yet.
Right. I mean, I'm quite sure that, but he does do it in a sense because right at that during those moments we didn't have master mode, so I'm quite sure he will do something in that sense as to where it falls in. But I get to your point though, Northern. I mean, that would be very cool.
North,
that would be very cool.
Yeah, North. I'm thinking. I'm not trying to throw any more work on them because they do a tremendous job in what they do.
Yeah, Northern. You're gonna make the game delay by 10 more years. Keep up with this.
You know who I'm thinking would be a great place for this? The Fleet Viewer, Star Jump.
Oh yeah, they could do that.
Good shout out.
Yeah.
But
again, I'm not trying to throw any more work over there on them. But
I'm not specifically saying CIG needs to do it. I'm surprised and nobody's created one.
I mean, okay, so we'll narrow it down. It had the fighter ship, the snap fighter, the light fighter, the medium fighter, the heavy fighter. Then you have within that you had the variants with the interceptor, the racer, the fighter bomber, the gunboat, corvette, and frigate. Now, my quick question is, where would a BMM follow in that? Would that be a frigate or a corvette? Because it's 160 meters, the hammerhead is like 120, and the 890 is 205?
Combat ships.
I think
BMM's not a combat.
It doesn't matter because they're not. The archetypes have nothing to do with whether the ship is a quote combat ship. It's whether it fits in that based on size. So like the 890 jump is considered a frigate.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm gonna track
BMM, that. Yeah, the BMM's probably considered a frigate because it's got bigger. Got bigger. Yeah, it got bigger.
All right. So yeah, that is the first half of Inside Star Citizen, Masters and Blasters. Coming, folks, we want to talk about the second half, but we'll get to that right now as soon as I get up to the thing here real quick. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Precision targeting is a new way of aiming at specific parts of a ship. You get the zoomed-in picture of your target, and it allows you to paint over specific components of the ship. So if you want to take out the thrusters, you simply aim towards the thrusters, and your gimbals will make sure the bullet lands exactly where you're aiming.
It's a big rework of the entire target system, with the goal to make it not only fit master modes, but also fit the problems we've had with target in the past, which is the control of the weapons and the accuracy.
Since master modes is bringing everything closer together, and master modes is slowing everything down, we need to make sure that the weapon speeds are adjusted as well.
It will reduce your fire rate, it will therefore decrease the spread, and allow you to be more precise where you hit. Good examples for that is if you want to fire at a ship from very far away and you want to make sure that your shots hit. An even better example is if you have a light fighter and you want to help take down a larger ship. You will not be able to take down the ship by yourself, but you can help other players by crippling the turrets with ballistic cannons, for example, and other subsystems. So that allows you to see better what you're currently targeting.
What we're doing is we're bringing all weapons into 3 archetypes. We have the anti-fighter weapons that have higher fire rate and a higher velocity that allows you to hit targets such as a horde of gladiuses. And then we have the anti-material weapons. Anti-material weapons is the one you bring out when you and your friends want to hunt a hammerhead. It's got the highest damage of all the weapons. You want to deal as much damage as possible, but the target is big and it moves slow, so you don't have to worry as much about actually hitting the target. And then we have unspecialized weapons, which are in between the anti-fighters and the anti-materials.
So this is better because it gives you a lot of options on how you want to attack the target. You can just, spray and pray that your shots are going to hit, or you can go into the precision targeting mode, see all the sub-targets that you have available, and then pick out which of these sub-targets you actually want to attack. Next to basically seeing what you're actually hitting, you also just get the stunning view of that big ship that you're targeting, right? Like it's a full screen, zoomed in view on your target. You can see it in all its glory. You can see all the parts you can shoot off. I think it's great.
We've been really happy with the results so far. We're seeing a massive difference in the way combat works and what the players are actually doing within combat. And that's been really good to see. There's still some small things we're working on right now to kind of solve, but we're really happy, we're kind of most of the way there at the moment.
The next big thing that the new aiming system has is the removal of the so-called N-1 system. That means that when you have a gimbal attached to a ship, the weapon attached to the gimbal goes down one size. At this point in time, after lots of testing, we're pretty confident that we don't want the system anymore. So in the future, if you have a size 3 gimbal on your ship, it will carry a size 3 weapon. But we're actually going further with this because from 3 onwards, you will not be able to mount fixed guns on your ship anymore. In addition to that, all the turrets, however, will get gimbals. So this is a requirement because of precision aiming mode, because the precision aiming mode we also want to be able to use on turrets, and we need a way to make the bullets fly where we want them to fly without cheating. So this means all turrets, they will get gimbals on their guns so they can properly lead. But to still keep turrets more powerful in terms of their weapon employing capabilities, and also because turrets cannot just, jump on the way out of the way, the auto gimbal mode will be something that's exclusively available to turrets. So pilots will still be able to manually gimbal their weapons with, either tying it to their controls or by looking around. But only turrets will be able to use the auto gimbal system because turrets are supposed to be very, very dangerous. And so players just have the choice how to apply the damage the best. However, because auto gimbaling is also in assisted mode, it will come with a reduction in fire rate, just to keep things fair.
So the feedback, it has been going pretty well.
We've been really happy with working with the community who's been playing this to kind of fine-tune it and make the changes needed, and we have made a lot of changes based upon these feedback.
Most of the feedback that we've been getting has been pretty positive around Squadron Battle, where there's some pretty good group combat dynamics players are reporting positively on. There's some really cool gameplay emerging, such as how players evade now is quite different. You have to drop chaff, break your target lock, break away, find your opportunity to break away from your pursuing ship.
What we can see at the moment is that players are very happy with squadron battles. players are not very happy with the 1v1, so this is more an area where we have to improve.
Of course, there are some very detailed feedbacks about some tuning choices, how we should make some type of archetypes better rather than not. But in general, it's going to be mostly appreciated.
The players are really enjoying the different roles that we've got. The interceptors are quite successful. There's been some pretty good feedback around the Buccaneer. We've probably still got a little bit of work to do around the Lightfire class and 1v1s, but other than that, it's been pretty good.
It means you can stay closer. You are much more in control of staying in a closer formation with other people that you're playing with. When we do our regular playtests, we can actually fly in our own version of a formation, and we can track targets without being several kilometers off each other.
That's your version of a formation.
Our version of a formation is generally, if we can see each other still and we're not accidentally shooting each other, I'd consider that a good formation.
I'm not sure that's the textbook definition of formation. I can see you and not crash into you. That's not a formation, Josh.
It's a win if at least two of the four of us manage to make it away in one piece without any friendly fire incidents.
So the thing that excites me the most about Master Modes is if you just watch the footage of players dogfighting at the minute, you can really see how close all of those ships are, and it just feels so much more cinematic.
It's really about the foundation of the whole flight experience moving forward, because I fully understand that this isn't a game just about combat. We want to communicate that players who want to do combat, they'll go into the Master Mode for combat. But if you want to go from A to B, you've now got a mode where you can do that without being harassed as much. So that's going to be a big plus for the game.
It's leveling the playing field a little bit more now. As we slowly breathe more life into each one of these ships, you're going to know this ship like the back of your hand.
People seem to like how much more frantic and intimate all the fights are in the Arena Commander testing that we've done so far. And I'm looking forward to hearing people's thoughts once we've rolled it out across all the ships.
Not everything that is in 3.2.3 you can see already in the Master Mode, AC mode. It's there's a lot more stuff coming, especially to weapon treatment, how we use capacitors, etc. But overall, based on the feedback that we got so far and also from increasing player numbers, we're pretty confident that we're on the right track. So Master Modes and the gunnery system and the whole combat experience is a huge undertaking for us, and we cannot do it without you. So we want you to play it. We need your feedback. Be honest, tell us what you don't like. Please also tell us what you like, so we can make all this space combat game great together.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that with Master Modes comes a rebalancing of ship performance into dedicated archetypes. That these archetypes are simply where tuning starts and will be grown from to ensure that each ship and vehicle provides a unique experience going forward. And that precision targeting, weapon gimbal, and balance changes all combine with Master Modes to provide a more involved, visceral combat experience for pilots when they arrive in the upcoming Alpha 323. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
Good try, Jared. Good try. You know, I heard that, and I gotta wonder, did CIG just low-key Black History Month us at the end there? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so. I hope not. Not with that, please.
I mean, because I've been asking for it for years now. I think that's as much as we're gonna get. But yeah, so what do people think about the last half of the Inside Star Citizen? Anyone? Go ahead, Pops.
Well, okay. I think the targeting system is great, where you can target certain components. It really is going to help when you're in your coordination of when you're attacking something. When you're trying to take down a ship instead of just obliterate. It makes it better, more precise. To me, I think hopefully it's going to be fun to to do. It will give a lot of I think inexperienced people better at combat with that. But the only thing I'm just wondering, will I know the guns will be able to target specific areas like they're showing. I'm just wondering if missiles will, if they'll give that ability to missiles if you target, the guns.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Anyone else?
The cool thing is you can jump into it and test it out right now.
Not doing a show, Jay. Not doing a show.
No, don't do it during the show. Don't do it during the show. But yeah, like, at the end, Yogi appeals to people, even if you're not like a combat person, to test it out. Because really, honestly, most of the feedback I think that they're going to get is going to be from combat people, because those are the people who are most invested in combat, right? So like, if you're not, this is where you make your voice heard. But it's going to be in 3.23. They're going to continue to tweak it and tune it, and your voice is important. So I just urge everybody that if you haven't been in master modes, check it out, give them the feedback. My thoughts on this is, I hope this is the last flight model remake they've done. No, it needs to be. No, it needs to be. I mean, like, evolution, not revolution, right? Like, if they just continue to iterate on this, I'll be happy, because I want them. Look, this is not a space combat game. I know there's people that think that's all this is, but they didn't sell this as a space combat game. They sold this as
the best darn space simulator.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to the first person universe, and now it's something. It's, what else is it? But it's beyond just space combat, and I love from the work on other gameplay. A lot of us were sold the Star Trek Expanse dream of exploration, right?
Right.
And instead, it's just Star Wars over and over again, and it's like, for some of us. Yeah, some people like it, but guess what? A lot of the backers didn't back the game for that. They backed it for a much broader, much more cerebral, interesting game. You can shoot shit in any game. Literally, there's space games that you can fly around and shoot ships. I didn't back Star Citizen just to fly around and shoot ships.
As Griffin like to say, the game that we have now is not going to be the game that we get. So
no, but working on space combat for how many years? 12 years.
Also, this is Chris Roberts' game, so not necessarily our game. So that's the other thing.
Right, but the Chris Roberts vision was also that Constellation Aquila commercial, right? The Chris Roberts vision is also the Carrot commercial. Where's that gameplay? That's what I want, and I hope this. Lock it up. Lock it in. This is our flight model. Move on. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, we'll see about that. I'm not going to hold my breath. But go ahead, Pop.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry to interrupt in again, but I did forget to say something. I'm wondering how much of this is going to be in Squadron 42. Is this the targeting system? Because I'm not sure if it came from Squadron 42 and they're just implementing it over here. But I'm just curious.
I think that it came from Squadron 42 and they're implementing it over here, and then we're gonna test it over here, and then they're gonna make some tweaks and changes into Squadron 42, so it goes back and forth. Okay, that's my guess. I'm not that's my guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Anyone else?
I got a couple notes here. I feel like watching, first of all, the precision aiming mode look cool. It's way better than we have right now. It actually reminded me like VATS from Fallout, where it would kind of blow up your target and show like the weak points or targets of interest or subcomponents. And I agree with Jade. I feel like this entire IC and just Master Modes on itself has just been nothing but about combat. Like, it's cool to have the cinematographic dogfighting, going, "Oh, that looks awesome! How I shot that guy." But at the same time, I'm not a combat guy, and you can get that same oohs and ahs by mining and watching their Crusader crest over the horizon. And they're not touching on any of that and how that's going to affect your non-combat role ships.
All right. One thing that I did pick up on here was they want to make combat more cinematic, and that's one of the reasons why they gone from jousting into closer combat. And I thought, so I can see that. I mean, I can imagine like Chris Roberts playing Squadron 42 and saying, "Oh, people are too far away. You can't really see the ship." So that's, he probably thought the jousting didn't look good, and that's why we're getting master modes or more close quarters combat. And when you saw those ships flying by you, I can see the appeal. It does look better, and a lot of people are moaning because they're used to it and they don't want to find a new learn a new model to fly, a new flight model to fly. But I think overall, in the end, it hopefully it'll be a better experience for people.
Well, I look at it like this too. As much effort as they put into combat and as much effort as they put into mining, I hope, and I'm quite sure that they will, my optimism is that they will put that much effort into exploration and other careers into the game.
That's the idea. Yep, I agree. All right. So yeah, that is Inside Star Citizen. Any last thoughts about Inside Star Citizen before we move on?
No, I mean,
nope.
Now we see why. I remember a little while back ago when they told us it's slowing down. It's going to slow down. And now
when did we
see
first heard about Master Mode? Was it like, I want to say, I feel like over a year ago.
That was, well, Master Mode specifically, I think was one of the CitizenCons. Was it 2 years ago? Did they?
That long?
I think so. But the whole idea of it, the whole idea behind it, if you remember, there was a card on the roadmap they called it High Speed Combat, right? Which was strange because it was actually the opposite. They were talking about slowing it down. Yeah. And that was literally the last flight.
I would prefer that name over Master Mode.
But that's our that's our current flight model, right? That was the last time they changed the flight model. This is the fifth flight model. That's why I'm saying it. I would love them to, iterate on it, but like move on to other things. Don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel a sixth time. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so just then we just saw something on screen. Let me go back and so we can see it again. But I'm gonna get to it. Like, I think that does look better, in my opinion. That looks better, especially the green pips is almost fully up your screen as opposed to just being like a pixel you can just try to hunt. I think that does look better, so hopefully it'll be a better experience.
Yeah, I think it's just better than a bunch of ships jousting.
Right.
100 ships jousting back and forth.
Now they're just going to circle strafe like they did back in 2.6. It's you're either in space combat, you're either jousting or you're circling. There's one of the two. You're never going to get World War II or Vietnam era flight in space. Like, you shouldn't. It's not an Earth atmosphere, right? You got 6 degrees of motion. Either you get rid of 6 degrees of motion and now every ship flies like a plane, or you concede the fact that it doesn't. Star Wars was a movie. This is a game. What I always say, this is a game. Whenever somebody says, "Hey, I'd like there to be some realistic physics," this is a game. Well, guess what? It's also not a movie. It's a game. So there's a trade-off.
It's an interactive experience, Jay. An interactive experience.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So yes. So up next we have our Machinima. And we're going to our old and trusty friend, TheAstroHistorian. This is called The Complex Structure of the UE Navy. This is 12 minutes long, almost 13 minutes long, so grab a drink and grab a snack and let's enjoy.
My name is Paul Shelley, and welcome to The AstroHistorian. This is a channel dedicated to exploring and explaining the lore of sci-fi and space universes and discussing their impact. Today we'll be talking about the universe of Squadron 42, specifically at the history of the UE Navy. Now, fans of the channel may note that I already did a video on the UE Navy a while back. In fact, it was one of the first lore videos I did on this channel, back when this segment was called Galactic Historian. The reason why I've decided to go over the topic again is because of the evolving nature of both my own knowledge and skill, as well as the evolution of the lore of Star Citizen, and as a result Squadron 42 itself, as we have more stories and fleshed out structures as the game gets more nailed down. So with the release of this video to the public, I will be unlisting that older video, though you'll still be able to find it on the channel and even in the top right. I will be assuming this is your first look at the Navy, however, so I will be covering some of the same ground I did in that video. With that said, let's look at the main military force of humanity in the 30th century, the United Empire of Earth Navy. To start, I will explain something that has confused some folks in the past: the fact that this Space Force is called a Navy. Without going into an hour-long video essay on the history of sci-fi tropes, I will just say that both Star Citizen and Squadron 42 are based on classic 70s and 80s sci-fi like Aliens, Blade Runner, Star Wars, and Battlestar Galactica. Part of the tropes of that time was to call space-based military forces the Navy. This was borrowing from earlier tropes of the 50s and 60s, where space was replacing the Wild West and high seas as the popular location to set action adventure books, TV, movies, and more. As a result, space became a, quote, sea of stars, unquote, and thus the military force that patrolled it became a space navy. It's such a common trope that you likely didn't even realize you've seen it before, with organizations like Starfleet, the Colonial Fleet, Imperial Navy, and Systems Alliance Navy, all using Navy or naval terms for their space militaries. Other series like Halo and Babylon 5 specifically use naval ranks with their space-based militaries, which buy into the idea of a space navy. I say all that because it isn't ever specifically mentioned as to why the space-based military is called the Navy in the verse. It just is. While I think it would be neat for the writers of CIG to come up with a reason for this name, I don't think it's required. It's a common trope, and until recently, it's just been accepted along with the idea of Space Marines just being called Marines in most sci-fi genres. Now let's get down to the brass tacks of the UE Navy. The Navy is the largest branch of the UE military, with large logistical fleets often in charge of transporting the resources of the Army and Marines, as well as government aid, and combat fleets that operate in every system of the UEE, often securing the borders of the Empire from pirates, smugglers, and the ever-present Vanduul threat. It is often the first and last line of defense for humanity, and has some of the most powerful ships and weapons humanity has ever created. Every member of the Navy is known as a starman, similar to how every member of modern navies are considered sailors. It can be a little confusing though, since there's a rank of starman in the Navy as well. Otherwise, the rank structure of the UE Navy is rather straightforward. For enlisted, it goes Starman Recruit, Starman, Leading Starman, Junior Petty Officer, Chief Petty Officer, and Master Chief Petty Officer. For officers, it goes Ensign, Lieutenant Junior Grade, Lieutenant, Lieutenant Commander, Commander, Captain, Commodore, Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, Admiral, Grand Admiral, and Legatus Navium. It should be noted that all who graduate through Flight Academy and become a pilot seem to be automatically given the rank of Lieutenant, as only officers can be pilots. It also seems like there might not be a traditional university military academy structure for officers like we see in many modern militaries, though there might be something akin to that just not listed yet. it does seem that a lot of commanding officers in the UE Navy have gone through Flight Academy. So it may be that the Flight Academy works as the gateway for officers. The culture of the Navy can be summed up in its official oath, which has rarely changed from the original oath created in 2380 with the first unified government of humanity, and goes as such. Hear and witness that I do solemnly pledge, mind and body, that I will serve and protect the united empire of Earth against all who would seek to harm it and its people. That I will faithfully discharge the duties asked of me, and when called upon, I will defend the Empire with my life. I will be the sword and the shield, that I will not falter nor fail, but fight and win. That I swear to do all in my power to act as a guardian of freedom and justice, as a champion of honor and valor, and a true and proud member of the UEE Navy. Since the fall of the Mezzers, the Navy has prided itself on being the shield more than the sword of humanity, and the reflection of the new kindler and gentler humanity which the new UEE sought to project. Standard training for the Navy begins when recruits arrive via Navy transport at MacArthur in the Killian system. These recruits are usually diverse, most being human from all over the Empire, but many are Tavarans, a race humanity defeated, conquered, and absorbed into the UEE, with possibility of other alien species as well if they live in the Empire. These recruits are immediately given a choice, known as the Rubicon, which is a final chance to back out. After which, the recruits will be divided into groups and assigned to their training camp, known as a forge. They will also meet with their divisional officer, who will be their first mentor to train them for naval service. After an extended period of intense drilling, physical fitness, and education in military theory and technology, the recruits will transition into candidacy phase of their training. During this time, they will undergo a series of physical, psychological, and intellectual tests to determine where in the Navy they would be best fit for. Some may move to the Flight Academy, some to research, and even fewer may even be detailed for Marine training. From this point on, the recruit will receive dedicated training into whatever discipline they've been selected for. This will account for their remainder of their training and will end with their first ship assignment, which should coincide with the 1-year anniversary of their training unless there is a need for more specialized training. After that, they will deploy. A starman's deployment experience will vary based on their ship assignment and speciality. Many of these can take place far away from active combat zones or in dangerous areas of operations, and some of these do end up placing them in harm's way. All of the servicemen and women of the Navy are trained to endure these high-intensity situations. The structure of the Navy is rather complex, and is actually based on the IRL Navy structures today. It starts with the Imperator, who is the head of the entire UEE and makes all final decisions as needed. However, there is a group in charge of the UE military called the High Command, which is made up of 3 leaders, one from each branch, called the Legatus Marinium from the Marines, Legatus Exercitus from the Army, and the Legatus Navium from the Navy. The Legatus Navium is over 3 different commands: Training Command, Logistics Command, and Fleet Command. The Training Command is in charge of any and all training for the Navy, including the training facilities on MacArthur. Logistics Command deals with intelligence, exploration, transport, R&D, special services, and personnel and records. Lastly, the Fleet Command is in charge of the active combat fleets. Each of these fleets is likely headed by a Grand Admiral. When it comes to the Fleet Command itself, each fleet is first broken down into overall fleets named after Earth constellations. These may also have numbers, as we know that the Second Fleet operated out of Vega during the Battle of Vega II. These fleets are commanded by an admiral. In each fleet is a regional fleet which covers a specific area that the larger fleet operates out of, like Earth region, Vega region, and so on. These are typically commanded by a vice admiral. In addition to these regional fleets, there are also specialty groups, usually squadrons, made up of specific combat ship types, like intercept fighter, strategic bomber, electronic warfare, and more. These groups are also commanded by a vice admiral. Next, we have the battle group, which is a subgroup of the regional fleets. This is also the main force that most people will see and interact with. They consist of 1 main carrier, 2 to 4 escorts, and combat and support vessels. Each battle group has its own unique number. These fleets are commanded by rear admirals. Next on the structure are the individual capital ships with their own designations, each designated the role that each ship will play. There can also be carrier wings at this same level of command attached to individual battle groups with their own command structure. Both capital ships and carrier wings are commanded by captains. Finally, we have the main structure which the Navy is built around, squadrons. These typically are also headed by captains, though commanders and down make up the main officers in charge of each squadron flight, which typically are made up of 6 individual ships, like Hornets, Gladiuses, Retaliators, etc. These squadrons and flights are the backbone of the Navy, working as forward screens, combat air patrols, scouting, and just about anything the Navy needs them to do. As a result, the current naval doctrine is heavily based around using squadrons of various craft to do most of the heavy lifting. And in Squadron 42, this is likely where you're going to end up, as a member of a flight of a larger squadron. In summation, the UE Navy is a behemoth of an organization, with likely millions of diverse personnel from all over human space. As a result, the Navy can seem unwieldy, unable to be as precise or responsive in great numbers. However, when this leviathan of an organization gets moving, little can stand in its way. It truly is the shield and sword of humanity, a symbol of hope for many in the UEE. I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, think about liking the video, subscribing for more content, and hitting the bell icon to be notified when these release. I'd also like to thank those on screen now for supporting the channel financially. If you want to throw in a few credits, think about becoming a member on YouTube, and if you want a bit more for your contribution, join the Ko-fi or Patreon. Patreons and Ko-fi members get early, ad-free access to all videos, including exclusive early access to my long-running Complete History of Star Citizen lore series. Check those out now in the top right if you want to know what you're getting. Now, I want to hear your thoughts on the UEE Navy and any other lore topics in the comments below. And as always, remember, ex Historia ad Astra.
We're back. So yes, that is the Machinima that we showed today. Called The Complex Structures of the UE Navy. Did you learn more about the Navy than you ever wanted to know? Pops, what did you thought?
Well, I was a little lost, but Paul is excellent. I mean, I can always go over it if I need to know all the intricacies of the ranks and things like that. And I was, I worked on the military base, but I was never really interested in all of things. That's just my thing, because I was never in the military. So, but it's interesting. The only thing it made me think about was all of those ships. Just made me wonder if we will ever be able to have all of those ships in one place. But
like a parade or something, or what?
Yeah, I mean, just a fleet. I mean, I'm quite sure this is from Squadron 42, but I'm just wondering in the verse if we'll ever be able to do that. Not necessarily have a battle or anything like that. Just, maybe somebody wants to make a machinima and have, a whole bunch of things. Just wondering if that would be possible.
Well, maybe when the game goes live, or maybe when they have all the ships. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, we'll see.
The 890 Jump Club got, I think, 50 people in 890s together on a server. And that's like today. So I don't see why not. I mean,
yeah, but I'm talking about the Javelin, 80 people on that one.
Right.
The Idris is what?
Well, that's the hope, Pops. That's the hope.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that, and I'm just like, wow. I'm just wondering if we'll ever be able to do that in the game. But I always enjoy Paul. Paul is, I mean, he's beyond words. Nobody explains things like Paul.
Yeah. North End?
He explains it like a teacher.
Yeah.
Well, funny about that. North End, any thoughts?
Yeah, I honestly did not know that a pub tender could be a historian. Who knew in this universe?
Right.
A couple things, I don't remember if I watched this video, but rewatching did bring some things to light. One was interesting how they broke down the ranks between enlisted and officers, where how enlisted followed more of the Navy structure ranking, and the officers followed more of the Air Force. Or let me phrase that: how the officers to become an officer, they were mainly pilots, which was weird to me because it's a Navy. You'd think they would have their own like Annapolis style of school.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is how they decided to do it. This is 930 years in the future, so some things have changed. But yeah, a lot of things have stayed the same. But I get to that in a moment. Jay, do you have any thoughts?
I'll start with the that question about there being like an Annapolis or like Air Force Academy or something like that. I kind of think it makes sense to not have that because space is very, very big, right? And I would think that they would have a decentralized kind of training, in multiple systems, just so that they're more agile. Because imagine having to send everybody back to Earth. Like you recruit somebody, that's way out at Vega or somewhere, and they've, you got to get them to
Well,
Earth.
they said to go to Killian, right? According to the video.
Yeah, but like that's not their school. That's not like a naval academy. That's what like Paul was saying at the beginning. But as far as the video, it's great. Paul he's the lore master when it comes to explaining any of this stuff, and I already
that
knew.
word again. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
I'm kidding.
I'll come up with something better. But
You broke her.
yeah, you did. But I do like that he started out really good with the explaining, why is it a Navy, right? Because like a lot of people, more recent sci-fi, those old tropes aren't in it so much.
Yeah, I mean, that trope is so old it didn't even occur to me. It did not even occur to me.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people, just accept that. I mean, even like The Expanse, because it was from the books. Even they have like the the naval stuff, like the Free Navy, the Beltalowda, the Mars Marines, and
Right.
yeah, exactly. So even fairly recent sci-fi television has had it. But as far as like the ranks and all that, I mean, I'm not a military person. I wasn't in the military, and I'm not a rank nerd. My orgs are not milsim orgs. I do not like Starman as the like basic rank. I think they could have been a bit more imaginative. Like Sentinel, I think sounds really cool. Guardian would have been cool. Of course, the Space Force is, that's what they're called, Guardians. Voyager, like Voidfarer, like there's so many better names than Starman, and there's no gender assigned to it either, so that would have been cool. But other than that, I mean, I'm not a fan of the UEE. I usually give the finger to this monument, my character does. So anyway, yeah, I learned a little bit more in depth what I already knew.
So we've talked about this when I was in my unit. I don't know why, but one of the reasons why the Navy usually leads on spaceships is because their entire universe is geared around leading and living with hundreds of bodies in one vessel. There's no other branch in the military ever outside of a Navy that's built for that and trained for that.
Air Force, kind of?
Nope.
I mean, they have the Air Force ships, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. It's you gotta think like a ship, like say, let's just use the Javelin. People are gonna be on there for months, if not years, out of their lifetime.
Okay.
You go through basic and you get that mindset, you get the training, and then you have to understand what your role is within that ship. I was in the Air Force, and Air Force is extremely integrated across all branches, from Marines to the Army, Coast Guard, all that.
Okay.
And with other militaries too, but that's past the point. But when you go into the Navy, when you go to your boot camp, you're trained and get that mindset of, hey, you'll be bunking with these people for months, if not years on end.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yep.
And thank you for your service. FitSpace, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I mean, Paul, he always puts his foot in it, as we say, right? No, I mean, great job, as far as well done, production, everything. I'm just waiting for him to do the next Lore Maker series. So want to have fun with that.
Okay. Something that stood out to me was the Naval Oath. I don't know. They just had it on the screen. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. Naval Oath, here it is. So Paul said that. Well, Dolores said that this had been in the universe in 2380. So this is currently 2954. So that's like almost 600 years that they've been using the same naval oath. It is hard for me to imagine that they haven't changed in 600 years. But I mean, you can say that for a lot of stuff in the Star Citizen universe. But I just thought that just stood out to me. So yeah. All right. So thank you for watching that. That is the complex structures of the UEE Navy. Just a side note, I was gonna pick something about the F8 Lightning, but I said that's more of a me thing, so I just watched it on my own. But yeah, so alright, so up next we're gonna wind down the show. Starting with Podcast Saturday. I did ask Griff. He did say that there will be a Voices this weekend, starting on Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC. So check that out. That's when you get to come in, talk one-on-one with Griffin about what's going on in Star Citizen that week. Covered the Spectrum post, covered some from Reddit, and sometimes there's something in general from the industry. But sometimes Griffin just likes to go on his own and have a very thought-provoking discussion. Not involving all of those, but yeah, it's always a fun show. That's 3 p.m. Eastern. And then that's followed by, on the cloud chat, the Cotton Table from the Astro Club. That is 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC. And then that's followed by Relay SC, Relay Station, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, 2 a.m. UTC. So check those out. And then on Sunday, the next show for Star Citizen is called Flight Ready. Now, the premise of this is your favorite FPS gear, weapons, and loadout. So, to put it longer, I'll say this. If you're one of those people who are ready by 8:30 or 8:45 when you're supposed to be ready, rolls up by 8, then this is the show for you. Or, if you don't know any people like that, then maybe you are one of those people, and this show is for you. I'm going to check it out, because I'm definitely one of those people. So yeah, so your favorite FPS gear, weapons, and loadout. 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. Also, you can check out last week's Flight to Rhythm on Mixcloud. You can find out on the Twitter on the People Radio Twitter page. I want to say thank you all for joining me. FitSpace, Jade, Northern Trooper, and Cotton Space, and everybody in chat. Thank you for all the follows and subs. And thank you, Yo-Yo Mag and Buster Destroyer for the raids. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. You can follow us on social media with Soul Citizen with an S on you and everywhere. You can become a Soul Bro, Soul Citizen, Soulmate. Soul Citizen membership has a privilege. Click the join button down below. On the supporters, you can buy our merchandise. I'm wearing a Soul, can't see here, but I'm wearing a Soul Citizen t-shirt. You can also join our Patreon. We appreciate it. Thank you all for supporting us. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and follow, depending on what platform you are. And make sure you hit the bell notification so you can get notified when we go live. And I was remiss. I did not check to see who was rating, because Griffin normally does that. So let me see who we're rating. I'll pick someone quickly. Well, we got, after public live, but he typically raids us, so he might be ending soon. Ooh, Uber Nerd. Let's go to Uber Nerd. So I'm gonna right click him. Here's his name. Go here. Hopefully you can find the right one. There it is. Here it goes. So bear with me, folks. Get this ready. There we go. Yes, Uber Nerd. So join him and say hello to him and make sure you send him my love from Soul Citizen. With that, peace, love, and soul.